Good evening and welcome to Sporlitiks, where sports and politics mix and mingle since 2011. That's right, 2011, 15 years ago. I'm Stacey Johnson. Joining me tonight is Aguna, the voice of reason. Stephen, the independent thinker. Keith, the constitutional conservative. And maybe my cousin Todd, who oftentimes is late. We have a packed show for you tonight. What you need to know about the partial government shutdown that started yesterday, but I think they may have come to a little agreement. ICE, the branch of ICE that's separate from the branch in the United States with Homeland Security investigations, will accompany our United States Olympic athletic delegation to Milan, Italy, with Vice President Vance this coming Friday, February 6th. Don Lemon and other journalists were arrested for reporting on ICE activities and activities of citizens in Minnesota. NBA Spurs player Wembanyama is concerned about his safety as a foreign-born NBA player. President Trump's massive armada, or the United States military massive navy, has neared Iran and shot down an Iranian drone. Foreign-born athletes playing in America for the World Cup, for instance, coming this summer. Will they travel to the U.S. to play? Will foreigners travel to the U.S. to watch the World Cup games if they are afraid of ICE and other entities with the United States doing things to make sure that they don't stay? That and more, if we can fit it in. First up, I'm going to play some videos, but Stephen, has NASCAR started yet? We can't hear you. You're on mute. I didn't do anything. You muted yourself. I can't hear you. Still can't hear you. You're still on mute.
Yeah, it wouldn't let me switch it off. I kept trying. It finally did. Yeah, they're having a race in North Carolina, a little class race before Daytona on the 15th of February. That's going to start off the big thing. But it's a race comes on at 6 o'clock Wednesday. They've been postponing it, and finally they decided they're going to make it this Wednesday, which they might have to postpone again. But it's the first thing they do for NASCAR. It's class. It's a quarter-mile track, so it's really tiny. The cars are just banging the whole time and hard to pass. But if you want to pick a car to win the race or to finish top 3, top 5, something like that, it's always good on these little tiny tracks to get somebody that's good on a road course. If they're good on a road course, they're good on a small track. They know how to get in the gas, out the gas, in the brake, and it's really an art to it. And it's something that you really train for. A lot of people are really good at this. There's about maybe 8 of them out of them all that are really good at this. Maybe 6, but there's not that many that's this great at. But if you want to go that way, then that makes it a lot more fun, a lot more interesting, because you can root on people that know what they're doing here, and it's going to be a good race. I hope they do get it in on Wednesday so we can get things going. There's a lot of qualifying that goes on before the Daytona 500. It's huge. It's always like the build up to the Super Bowl. It's the build up to the Daytona 500. It's along the same line. It's a lot of pomp and circumstance and a lot of preparedness. So here we go. NASCAR is getting ready to start 2026, and I don't know anything they've changed with any rules or anything. I'll get you that next week before the race.
All right, great. So then we'll talk about NASCAR next week.
Okay.
Thank you. Let me share my screen, and we will talk about the Winter Olympics.
On February 6th, Milan and Cortina, Italy will welcome the world to the Winter Games as host cities. More than 90 countries are represented, from snowy giants like Norway and Canada to nations you might not expect like Kenya, India, and even Saudi Arabia. They're all chasing glory in 16 icy disciplines, battling for a record 195 medals. You'll see classics like alpine skiing, hockey, and figure skating, to newer events like big air snowboarding and a brand new event called ski mountaineering. This year's games will also spotlight the highest percentage of women athletes in Olympics history. The world stage is set across northern Italy, where dreams kick up snow and heroes are made. So bundle up, cheer loud, and get ready for 2 weeks of world-class action, because in Italy, the only thing cooler than the scenery is the sporting spirit at the heart of the Winter Games.
USA, 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 USA. Oh, hey, Todd. Nice of you to show up looking like you are going to the Winter Olympics in Milan. Okay, anyone want to talk about the Olympics before I move on?
When do they start?
Friday.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And who's going over there? ICE is going over there with the vice president or something, you said?
I said ICE will be accompanying our athletic delegation.
Hello, Stephen. Can't hear you.
We
Everybody
can
else
I'm talking. Keith, I was talking. He could hear. I could hear him. I think something's going on with you. He just made a comment, and I was talking. You couldn't hear me, Keith? I guess he can't hear me.
Keith, something's going on with Keith's thing. Well,
we got
he
together.
can talk now, but now he can't hear.
Yeah, Keith and I got together last week to kind of go over everything to make sure.
It's not me, Aguna. I can hear you clearly. I don't know. It's Stephen.
Okay. All right. Thank you. But next time, let's wait until after. Next time, you rude people, let's wait until after I finish my comment about the sports. Thank you.
I don't know if you can hear me.
There's an ICE delegation that will be accompanying U.S. citizens that are athletes representing the United States to the Olympics. They'll be accompanying them there and staying with them like they have always done on all the Olympics when it's been outside the United States. And the vice president will be attending as well. And I think he's only attending for the opening ceremony. All right, let me move on to share my screen again. We're going to be moving fast because we have a lot to cover tonight. You can't hear me?
I don't think Keith can.
Oh, okay. This is Victor Webinama. Let's see what he has to say.
No matter the subject, and it's I think it definitely takes some, but it might have some price in right now. The price, I mean, each and every one of us has to decide the price we're willing to pay.
Victor, the Players Union put out a statement regarding protest in Minneapolis in support of it, saying it's supporting free speech and fight for justice. I was wondering what your thoughts are on the situation in Minneapolis.
Yeah, PR has tried, but I'm not going to sit here and give some politically correct. I know. I mean, I'm this every day. I wake up and see the news, and I'm horrified. I think that it's crazy that some people might make it sound like it's acceptable. The murder of civilians is acceptable. Every day. I mean, I read the news, and sometimes I'm asking very deep questions about my own life. But I'm conscious also that saying everything that's on my mind would have a cost that's too great for me right now.
Is that kind of a big factor in this, that people have that fear that if they speak openly about an injustice they see, there can be repercussions?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's terrible. It's and I know I'm a foreigner. I live in this country, and I am concerned for sure. I'm always proud of people speaking their mind, no matter the subject, and it's I think it definitely takes some.
All right.
But
All right. Stop sharing it. He and a few other NBA players are foreigners who play in the United States, and they seem to be, it sounds like he's concerned about ICE and saying, hey, United States, it's not okay to kill someone just because they don't necessarily agree with whatever it is you're doing. Anyone want to comment? I'm only going to allow like 1 or 2 comments before we move on.
I don't think he has a lot to worry about. I don't think anybody that's playing for professional teams got a whole lot to worry about. They're pretty well covered, and
when you say
I can understand anybody can have a concern.
When you say they're pretty well covered, do you mean like they have their papers?
I mean, they have their people. They have everything. They're one call away. Yeah.
And the U.S. government knows while they're here, and they're legally here because the U.S. government is supposedly going after people who are illegally here. Is that right? What you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying that I believe that he's legally here. There's no problem there, and he doesn't have that much to worry about. They could get picked up accidentally or whatever on a really, a glitch, but generally he's pretty well cut. He's established a ball player in the United States. He's pretty well covered by whatever happens. I mean, all they got to do is pick his thing out. They look him online. It's not that hard to understand. He's a famous guy, and
I didn't know who he was.
Of course not. And Stephen is being so ridiculous saying that they went in some man's house, who was an American citizen, pulled him out of the shower and took him to a detention center. And for you to say, oh, he's well known. I don't know who that boy is. And so they don't know who he is. They don't care. They just picking up people who are dark, who has a funny accent. And then they find out later, oh, okay, you belong here. Sorry. And they move on.
I don't even think they say sorry.
Well,
yeah. And I mean, I think, as a professional athlete, I think he's just, it's starting to get a little dicey when you get a lot of people that aren't really in that bubble or in that space commenting on it. It's starting to leak into mainstream America, and that thing, I mean, it's already been there on the headlines, but it's like people are starting to talk about it, and it more so than they typically would. And so that's why I think it's important. I mean, I don't think he's scared personally, but I think it's becoming a broader issue.
I think he is scared personally. And let me just say, to finish up with that, this is not politically correct to say, but a lot of these people bought it on themselves. Do you hear that? Now that's rough to say, but these spics voted for him. I mean, these, what do you call?
Wait, I don't condone that.
Okay,
I don't condone that. The show.
I don't understand, man.
Does not condone calling someone a name like that, Todd.
I didn't mean
that on your own. Just like I said about Stephen and Keith, you're doing this on your own.
Hey, we don't call anybody names like that, man.
No, okay. I mean those names are horrible, Todd.
All right, blah 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 blah. I'm not interested. Tell that to white people.
Hey, you mind if I, Stacey?
I'm talking, crackpot. Let me finish, Coon. I mean, Keith.
I don't condone that either. And how come whenever Todd goes in there and talks and tells y'all to stop talking, y'all stop talking, but when I talk,
oh my gosh, here we go.
Because we'll stop talking just to know he'll stop talking. So we're just like going, Todd. Burn yourself out.
I didn't mean what do you call not Mexican? I keep forgetting because I tell you how I forget. White people taught me English, and they taught me.
Don't blame that on us.
People, Mexicans and them are spics. Blacks like Keith are coons. Chinese or Asian people are wetbacks. I didn't make this.
No.
Jews are kites.
The Mexicans are wetbacks, not the Asians. You didn't learn.
Hello. Wetbacks, gooks. Chinese are gooks. I didn't make this stuff up. This is what America has taught me. So, Stacey, blame Trump.
But nobody's saying that anymore, Todd, except you.
What do you mean?
Okay, I'm
nobody's
going to
saying
move
that
on.
anymore?
I'm going to move on. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about
They voted.
NBA.
I was saying they voted for
Wait a
this.
minute, Keith.
And so these people who are now surprised that Trump wants them out of the country, where's the surprise there? He said he didn't want you here, and he's getting rid of you. Now,
they were told that the worst of the worst were getting taken out of the country.
And I'm talking about
that's right. The worst of the worst were
on.
going to be out of the country. That
he's not going to keep going like that.
That's why they voted
he
for him.
lied again.
Paul George of the Philadelphia 76ers faces a 25-game suspension. This suspension results from a violation of the NBA's anti-drug program, though details remain undisclosed. George acknowledged taking something improper while seeking treatment for his mental health. He expressed deep regret, taking full responsibility for the mistake in a statement to ESPN. With this being a first violation, the suspension starts on Saturday during a game against New Orleans. This suspension will cost George approximately $11.7 million, based on his hefty salary. George's suspension affects the team financially, bringing them closer to escaping the luxury tax. Expected to return on March 25th, George will rejoin the team for the final stretch of the season. Currently, the 76ers stand at 26-21, fighting for playoff positioning in the Eastern Conference. George has been key this season, averaging 16 points, providing crucial support alongside Embiid and Maxey. His recent 32-point game highlighted his potential and importance to the team's success. Having signed a massive 4-year contract, George's first season in Philly has been rocky due to injuries. After numerous setbacks, he labeled this season as one of the lowest points in his career. With the trade deadline approaching, the suspension puts the 76ers' playoff plans at risk. As they prepare for the future, the team must navigate the challenges without their star player.
Okay.
Really sucks.
Aguna.
Unreal.
Yeah, so what is it, 25 games?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And so, in my dream world, they were going to go after what's his name from Giannis from Milwaukee and have him paired with Embiid and have Paul George, and we just make this great playoff run. Now, even though Maxey and Embiid have been playing well, so it's just such a waste and a distraction. So we'll see what happens, but I'm not optimistic. Embiid at least is staying relatively healthy this year, which is a good thing. But once you start getting after the All-Star break, we got to make the playoff push into April. You're going to need as many shooters and weapons and rebounders as you can get, and this is just not a good look going out and stretch like this. So it's another curse.
What did you want to say, Stephen?
This is his first offense, and they gave him 25 games. You got to be kidding me! $11 million for first offense? That's unbelievable.
I think
that's like putting somebody in jail for a first time they spit or something. It's ridiculous. Who made these rules? It's a first time offense. You don't get 25 games and lose $11 million. That's insane.
Your ring is going off. But first off, let me say this about Paul George. First off, he's coming in. When he first came in, he had some injuries that precluded him from participating and playing with the team. So for me, and I'm a Philadelphia Sixers fan. I'm a Philadelphia fan, all the major sports teams in Philadelphia. So when he can't get together and he can't play with the team, he can't gel with them.
Right.
He has this incident. He's not going to be for 25 games. The question is he going to be required to attend all the 25 games, or is he going to go home? Because if he goes home, he's definitely not going to build anything with them, and he doesn't know them, and he really hasn't played with them, and he hasn't really, become one with the team. So that's a problem.
Right.
When he
returns,
returns, he's got to play with them where they are, and he's missed 25 games playing with them. And for the Philadelphia 76ers to spend that much money on someone, and I'm sure they did a serious investigation into him before they did that. Who's going to spend $51 million on someone and not know when they scratch their head? I don't know who's going to do that, but they know who he is. So, to spend that type of money and then for him to come up and say, oh, I take full responsibility. I don't even know what I take full responsibility means, because full responsibility does not mean, it's like, forgive me. Okay, well, we forgave you, but now we need you to play. Now we need to win. Now you're jeopardizing our playoff chances. So for me, it was a waste of time.
Well, he said he takes full responsibility. And Stacey, for you to say, I don't know what that means, I'll tell you what that means. It's a white made-up term that means absolutely nothing. We talked about this for years. When you hear people say, you know what, I take full responsibility, that doesn't mean anything. Does that mean you're going to pay somebody? Does that mean you're going to give some? Nothing. It's just empty words that white people made up to say nothing, but make you think they're saying everything. I take full responsibility. Okay. And what does that mean in English? What's going to happen to you? What are you going to do? What are you going to give? What are you going to pay? What are you going to? Nothing. So, and it's amazing to me that Stephen.
Right, don't take him off. I got to go into tennis. Don't take him off of somewhere. Let's just finish because we have a lot to cover.
Well, Stephen is the one that says no big deal. Nothing is a big deal when you take performance enhancement drugs. So what? Everybody does it. It's the 90s.
I think it was smoking weed. Because he said it helps him. He's got like issues in his head or something.
Okay, so
that's not performance enhancement.
And I think the Philadelphia 76ers organization knew that. So to take him and then he had an injury to start off the season was Philadelphia 76ers needs to take full responsibility.
Good evening. Novak Djokovic has heaped praise on Carlos Alcaraz after the Spaniard became the youngest man ever to win all 4 major titles. Djokovic says Alcaraz has no weakness, but has hinted his own retirement may not be far off.
Records are made to be broken, but good luck ever breaking this one.
Well, it was a dream come true, to be honest. It was something that I was working really hard for to get this trophy, to get the career Grand Slams.
As the youngest career Grand Slam winner of all time. So when 22-year-old Carlos Alcaraz can't quite grasp the gravity of what he's just done.
I'm trying.
It was 38-year-old Novak Djokovic providing the perspective.
I think the best word to describe it is historic, legendary. So congratulations, and I wish you best of luck.
The Spaniard also became the first player ever to beat the Serbian in an Oz Open final on the 11th attempt. So to celebrate, the 7-time major winner wants a kangaroo tattoo on his leg.
Looking forward to seeing, more kangaroos here in the future.
The 10-time AO champion was 2 sets away from winning number 11. But was gracious in the 4-set loss, making one of the better runners-up speeches.
You're so young, you have a lot of time, like myself. So I'm sure we'll be seeing each other many more times in the next 10 years.
And with Rafael Nadal watching on from the front row.
Obviously, it feels very weird to see you there and not here, It's too many Spanish legends. It felt like I was against 2 against 1 tonight, it wasn't.
To end, he left this question mark on his future.
God knows what happens tomorrow. It has been a great ride. I love you guys.
Adrian Franklin, 10 News.
Okay, cousin Todd. This is Todd and tennis.
Jesus, God help us.
Shut up. Anyway, I'll start with the men. The Djokovic lost to Alcaraz, which I was so glad because I didn't want Djokovic to get 25 wins because that would be the most wins of any tennis player ever in history. And I'm so glad he didn't get that because I can't stand him. I like.
All right, you can't talk for an hour. You got to sum it up.
I like Alcaraz. Always did. He reminds me of Nadal, who you just saw in the audience. He's a combination of Nadal and Federer, who was not in the audience. But anyway, Stacey's got some nerve, but she'll go on and on about basketball or football because she's ghetto. Nevertheless, that was the men's, and I was glad Alcaraz won. And then, but did you hear how Djokovic was talking about Alcaraz? Oh, so positively and all. He didn't talk like that about Venus or Serena. He was saying about them, yeah, they're the best female players in the world, I guess. That's what he said. And he didn't have all those glowing things to say. That's why I can't stand him. But this boy whipped him good, so he gives him all the praise. Nevertheless, so that's the boys. Now the girls, it was Sabalenka lost to what is her name? Elena. And everybody thought Sabalenka was going to win. And Sabalenka, I don't really like Sabalenka, but she's all right. And so Sabalenka lost, which was an upset, really. And how do you like, going back to the boys, Alcaraz is the youngest, only 22 years old, to win all 4 major titles. You know what the major titles are, Keith, right? Stephen?
Don't care.
The U.S. Open. We talked about this before. The U.S. Open, right? The French Open, Wimbledon, and Australian Open. We talked about that. Those are the only 4 tournaments we talk about here.
Wow.
Anyway, go back to the ghetto life you people love to live.
Man, all we heard was womp, 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 womp. Serena.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Okay.
You got to get her in. She's been retired for what, 5 years?
Todd, he tried, man. Todd in the hood, you tried.
I try to get you people elevated, but it just won't work. So stick to basketball. Are we going to talk about college basketball?
Yeah, I got it right now. Let me play it. Todd wanted to bring this story in.
I wanted to bring it right after the NBA. I mean the NFL basketball.
Oh, you mean the NBA?
Oh, tomatoes succotash.
Here we go. Let me play it for you, Todd.
A Villanova University football player is facing sexual assault charges tonight. Investigators say he raped another Villanova student.
20-year-old Dahani Cobbs is a wide receiver on the team. The university says he was arrested Friday in connection with the incident that allegedly happened in December.
It is Monday night, and the big story in Action News, this serious charges filed against the Villanova University football player.
Court records allege that this incident happened in a dorm room in December. Action News reporter Chad Perdelli live for us now in media. Full story and what more of those court documents show, Chad.
Sure, the allegations in those court records are disturbing. And if true, this was forcible rape, and the lives of 2 young adults are likely changed forever. On the Tony Villanova campus, horror and disgust over the alleged rape of a student by fellow student and freshman football player Dahani Cobbs in early December.
I think it's awful. My heart goes out to the survivor.
According to the criminal complaint, Cobbs and the alleged victim met at an off-campus event. The two and Cobbs's roommate returned to the football player's dorm room. The roommate left, and Cobbs is accused of forcing the fellow student onto the bed, face down, and raping her.
Very simply, he didn't take no for an answer.
Delaware County District Attorney Tanner Rouse says there is corroborating evidence on the victim and Cobbs's cell phone. The complaint says Cobbs texted the victim later in the day saying, quote, "My apologies if I made you feel uncomfortable. If you want to talk about it over the phone or in person, we can. Just come to more of an understanding."
I'm praying for the family and for the woman that was involved. And so, yeah, I just hope everyone can learn from this and that this doesn't happen again.
The alleged victim reported the assault to Villanova police. A rape kit was performed, and Cobbs was charged last week with rape, aggravated indecent assault, and other charges. The university says it immediately removed Cobbs from campus and released a statement that reads in part, "Sexual violence of any kind is not tolerated on our campus, and we are committed to both supporting the victim and fostering a safe environment for all of our students.
My message to college kids, to high school kids, to everyone listening is the exact same message I give to my 7 and 9-year-old. When it comes to somebody else's body, no means no, stop means stop. It doesn't matter the context. If they don't want you doing it, don't do it.
And Cobbs is out on $250,000 unsecured bail. Attempts to reach him and his attorney for comment were unsuccessful. In media, Chad Berdelli, Channel 6, Action News.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That was a very unfortunate incident that happened and so unnecessary. And so I don't know what happens in this situation. Who do you believe, him or her?
I believe her.
Oh, okay. Well,
100% based on the evidence.
what evidence are you talking about?
When he texted her later and said, if you want to get together, you know, if I had a misunderstanding or if I was
Right.
too hard on you, whatever. No, that's leading the way. And they did a kit, so they can find out things what happened in the kit.
Well,
that
they
did
can
to her.
find out that they had sex in the kit. That's all they can find out in the kit, and whether or not she was torn at all. But in
Right.
sex,
I say, yeah, they
sometimes
can
you
find
get
things
torn.
out. Yeah.
Anyway, so it's not an issue whether or not they had sex. They did have sex, but
Right.
was it forced is the issue.
Right.
And so that's you're convinced that he did it because she said so, and that text made you think he did it.
I think maybe he did. I don't think she's gonna lie about it. I don't think, but what did he say? Has he said anything about it?
No, he hasn't said anything, but of course,
He's in jail?
Not guilty. But let me say
He's
this. 'Cause
out on bail.
we
Okay.
can't go. We're halfway through the show and we have so much more to cover. I think it's a very sad event for both him and for the young lady. Just horrible for both of them to be in that type of position. Both lives will never be the same. And my thoughts and prayers go to both of them. Keith, you wanted to say something earlier? We can't hear you. You are on mute.
It wasn't about this. It was we've long passed that. So
Okay, sorry. I'll catch you
What
on the
was
next.
well, it was about the
We're coming
illegal
to ICE.
immigration.
We're coming
ICE.
to that. So you'll have the time.
Yeah.
You'll have time to talk about that again. Let me share my screen and show this.
Flashing them to get out of your way, are you? Let's give you a path to get past them. See what you do. $100, $101, passing the card, $101, $103, $104. County motor 50, copy 1050. Gonna be 429 northbound at Stony Brook, Florida Tag. On a gray Aston Martin, unknown occupants. I would wipe that smile off your face. I'm Sergeant McDaniels with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. You're being stopped for dangerous, excessive speeding.
I understand my tire in the back is like literally on 29.
So you're driving at 100. Hold on. You're driving at 104 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour zone with subpar equipment, flashing people to get out of your lights, out of your lane, following too close, using every lane to pass everybody, cutting me off, passing a car on the inside shoulder with their hazard lights on. you're going to jail for dangerous excessive speeding.
I'm so sorry. I did not mean to do that. My phone, I didn't even know my car was speeding.
That's why they give you a speedometer.
I totally understand. I communicate with you, sir. I really do not want to go to jail.
No, most people don't, but you got to think about that before you do the speed. I need your license, your registration, and your insurance. You were speeding.
So I was, and I totally didn't know. If you look at my phone, my buttons right here, they jump around. My phone is sitting here and it's sitting on here. I literally see it's not even in normal mode, and I see that. My apologies, sir. Please, I'm communicating.
The mode has nothing to do with your gas pedal.
No.
I need your license, your registration, and your insurance.
Please, sir, please. I really want to work. Can you really work with me, sir? I promise you, I am a law-abiding citizen. I have my ID, my X-rays on my phone. There was no intentions of me speeding today. I promise you, sir.
Is this a good address for you, Lake Valley Drive?
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm local, sir. Please work with me. I promise you.
I don't know what work with you means.
Not work with me. I understand that. I would take the ticket. I would show the
No,
court.
like I told you, you're going to jail.
Please don't allow me to go to jail. Please, sir. Please.
Listen to me.
Please, sir. I really.
If nothing you say is going to change that. You are going to jail.
Sir, am I going to jail? Like,
Yes.
Sir, I really was not intentionally speeding at
That's
all.
even more scary. That means that you're doing things unintentionally on a task that requires all your attention.
Please, I'm begging you.
You are going to have a little bit of time to make some phone calls. You are going to jail. I am towing your car.
Please, sir, don't take me to jail. I will do
Yes.
everything.
No.
I will do everything.
You have two options.
Listen.
Listen.
My tire, sir, please.
Listen,
I can
you have two
go to
options.
jail. Please, sir.
The first option is you can either ride with me in my car.
Damn, that's loud.
The second option is you are going to go to jail in a cage car. Which do you prefer?
I promise you, I don't want to go to jail. I'm right here. I have a team here. I have a coach, everything, sir. I was not intentionally doing anything, and I am.
You're not listening. You're repeating yourself and not listening. Nothing you say is going to change.
So I want to.
All right, so make some phone calls. Let people know that you're going to have a $500 bond.
Okay.
You knew her?
Do you all know what that's about? And do you know who that was?
No.
No, not at all.
Okay. So that was Sha'Carri Richardson, the Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
She is an incredible, talented runner. She's about 25 years old. She was just arrested in the Seattle airport last year for hitting her boyfriend. Remember we did that story?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So that's her. She was arrested. Florida has, and this is Orange County. Aguna, you're very familiar with Orange County in Florida. Florida has a law for speeding. If people go over a certain miles per hour, I think it's 100, they automatically go to jail. That's a new law that started in 2026. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's the law in the state. And they showed everything was on camera. They showed the police officer, the sheriff, clocking her speed at 104. They showed her go around him. And then her boyfriend, who she was with in Seattle, came behind her with another police officer and refused to leave the scene. And he was arrested as well.
Here we go.
So it's just very sad. I feel very sad for her and her boyfriend. They're so talented. Oh my goodness. On certain runs, nobody can beat her. She's like the fastest person on a certain heat. I don't remember what it is, but she's so talented. And for her to sit there and to try to talk her way out of it. And
that talking her way out of it means nothing. She's a child and children do that. So I'm not going to harp on nothingness. For her to talk her way out, she's scared. I don't want to go to jail. I've been in trouble before. Please, please, please. That's common. Now I want to move on to her boyfriend, who came to just make sure everything was okay.
He had already been following her. And
yes.
It was going so fast that she lost him, but he knew where she was going.
Exactly. My point is for them to arrest him is overkill.
Well, they arrested him because they asked him to leave the scene and he wouldn't.
Gosh. I know that. That's overkill. Leave. I'm a white man and I'm telling you to get out of here, nigger. Get out of here. No, I'm not. I'm making sure she's okay. I want to watch you arrest her and put her in the car properly. And then, but for them to pull, this is what I hate about cops. They try to pull rank. He's not doing anything except sitting there watching. Now, what if he was a reporter? Would he be asked to leave? No, you're her boyfriend and I'm in charge here. Get out of here. He's not impeding anything.
Well,
He's not.
that's not necessarily true, Todd. If this is why you got to be careful when you deal with law enforcement. You can't adjudicate with law enforcement on the side of the road, right? You got to follow it. If they give you a lawful command and say, "Hey, leave the scene, stand back," and they start engaging you.
Wait a minute. Leave the scene leave the scene. That means leave.
Yeah. So look, if you're on the side of the highway, you're not technically. You can't just be on the highway just doing anything you want to do. If a cop is over there in the emergency lane and says, "Hey, you got to get out of here," or and that's the thing. You have to. There's a gray area in the law. All right.
Yes.
The cops. The law is on their side
white
because
cops take advantage of that gray area daily.
Well, here's the thing. The probable cause was she broke the law.
So
and they
what?
documented that. And they can basically say this is a crime scene, you need to leave. And as long as they're following their protocol. Again, see, this is the thing. You can't litigate stuff on the side of the road with a cop. He's going to tell you to get out of here.
I'm just watching you. I'm just watching you with your racist South African cop self. I'm watching you to make sure you don't shoot her. I don't.
So is that exactly what happened? Is that exactly what happened?
Yes, that he was watching.
So
yes.
I mean, because I only saw the clip of the officer.
They haven't released the video cam with Christian Coleman.
I don't know what happened and what that exchange was.
We don't know what happened.
Now, I didn't like
the
white
video. Boy exchange.
Get
out of here.
The video because I saw she was scared and I saw she was, I saw all that. But I also been where she is, and the truth of the matter is, I broke the law. I mean, I was speeding. I was reckless driving. She could have killed some people, right? So she was going to jail, and the cop was very calm and told her what her options were. If you want to continue to engage and all, they're gonna. And if you notice, the cop does not have to de-escalate. I mean, we want them to. We want them. We kind of want them to use good judgment. But here's the thing: once they give you a lawful command and they tell you, "Hey, you're going to these are your options. Choose your options." The more you try to go back and forth, the more they're going to be like, "Okay, we're going to have to move this along, and now we're going to have to use force and all this other stuff." If he came and he tried to engage in any way, and they gave him a command to get in his car or to leave, he has to do that. I know, a lot of times, people think that, we're in America, we pay we can tell cops what they want to do. They don't have to listen. And in fact, if you're breaking the law, it gives them kind of the purview to engage and to kind of rectify the scene or whatever. So we can't get in here and start, maybe there's some bias. There's absolutely bias, but the problem is
words like
cop getting
take
speed.
advantage of you.
So let me say this.
Take advantage of you. What?
I think
he was in an Aston Martin going over 100 miles
He's
an
going
hour.
back. He's going back to the rape.
Excuse me.
Oh.
I think we're going to move on because we're running out of time really quickly, and we have so much to cover. It's just a very sad situation.
Yeah, it is.
But unlike Todd, I believe the cop should have told the boyfriend to go away. He had nothing to do there, and for his own safety, he doesn't need to be on the side of the road. The cops are there because they're paid to do that job. The girl's there in her car, and the boyfriend's not going to do anything that's positive. He could either get hit by a car, or he could have something, or he could try to intervene and hurt these cops. It's just a lose-lose situation. The best thing he can do is go, and when he didn't go, he should be arrested.
I don't
he should be arrested.
Okay, so what he should have done, Todd, was say, where exactly are you taking her? Give me the address, and I will.
And they would say, "Shut up, coon, and get out of here before I."
You don't know that.
Jail.
So I'm sure now. Again, if he came over there and said, "Excuse me, officer, I just want to make sure she's okay."
Oh my God!
Again, if that's what happened, or he's like, "Hey, what the hell are you doing, my girl?" We don't know. I don't know. I didn't see it.
We do know. Aguna, you sound ridiculous.
It doesn't matter.
You sound just like Keith. Hey, what are you doing with my girlfriend?
It doesn't matter how the guy was.
My significant other or somebody was pulled over and they were going to jail, right? The last thing I want to do is run over there and try to fight the cops or create a more of an altercation. Now, don't get me wrong. If my kids or anything like that are in trouble, you definitely believe I would want to make sure that they were safe and then nothing happened to them.
Oh gosh.
So, but there's a way that you, especially if they're already in trouble.
What do you do, Aguna? Do you crawl on your hands and knees over to the coppers?
You're assuming that.
Well, let me say this. If you notice, the sheriff, he made sure that his hands, both hands, were seen by the camera, and that you could see that he wasn't doing anything to harm that person.
Just a minute. His hands were inside her car, and they shouldn't have been.
Okay, well, that's what he showed. But he showed my hands are here, and they're not touching her. I didn't do anything aggressive, and I gave her choices. Now I'm going to go back to my car. All right.
Once you're going again, in Florida they don't play. You go over 100 miles an hour, reckless driving. They don't know if you're impaired or anything like that. And then the same.
And the thing is, she saw when you're on the highway, you should see cops. She saw he was a cop.
Oh my gosh!
Kept going and went past him. I would be scared to death to do that. As soon as I see a cop,
she did not see him. Obviously, this is like talking to Keith. Talking to you people is getting dumb.
You saw where he said, "Hey, you can make some phone calls. You can either ride with me."
Okay.
And he didn't even have to do that. He could have said, "Get out the car. I put you in handcuffs."
All right.
That's it. He didn't have to even go back.
We know that. We know that. Let's just deal with what happened.
Good.
He pulled her over. She saw he was a cop, and that's Stacy. She's been talking like Keith. And I'd be scared to pass a cop. Are you high? She didn't see him, obviously. She was speeding. Just like you and Keith and Aguna and Steven.
But I look for cops. If I'm speeding, I'm looking for cops because I don't want to
get. But that's neither here nor there. She pulled up. She didn't try to run, right? She didn't try to run, but she was clearly over the speed limit. He gave her some lawful commands.
All right,
we was
know
just trying to talk her way out of it, with like we always
do.
That. But he was like, "Okay, these are your options.
We know that.
How do you want to go to jail, girl? You want to go in my car, or you want to go in a big old car?
That's fine. That's fine. That's not a problem. She did wrong. She's going to jail. That's fine. The problem comes in when her boyfriend gets behind her, and then the white cops do their white copper thing and takes advantage of him and throws him in jail for no reason. They told him, "Get out of here," which they love.
I didn't see that film.
We have to wait for that video. And it probably would have been safer if he had just kept driving and then followed them.
Oh, give me a break. Look at Keith. Hey, Jeb, it's safer for him. We're not slaves, you coon.
Secret that
We're not
they invited folks out.
This is Operation Pull Up, more of a clandestine operation. We
Operation
show up
Pull Out,
somewhere.
no children.
They don't expect us to come there, and then we disrupt business as usual.
So right now it's kind of mayhem. We're not part of the activists, but we're here just reporting on them. Did they explain to you why they're here? They did not. They said that there's someone here in Easterwood, someone who is a member of ICE, and he's a pastor of the church.
Our church had gathered for worship, which we do every Sunday. We asked them to leave, and they obviously have not left.
So this is what the First Amendment is about the freedom to protest.
There's varying array of views in this church on politics of immigration. Recognize the complexity of the issue.
This shows you just how divided America is. When you look at the protesters here, and then you look at the people there who are praying, and you know what was the interesting thing? If these two groups could just get together, they might figure out what to do.
I don't necessarily agree with everything that's going on in the Twin Cities right now, but I don't think it's good to fight fire with fire. I think it's good to speak up. I think it's good to protest, but I think it's better to do it in a peaceful way.
Yeah, that was interesting to watch. This guy here, look, he's hugging his kid. And, you know, I imagine it's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here. They think you lost and this didn't accomplish anything, and you went into their house, the house of the Lord.
The reality is the house of the Lord is a place where love lives. It's not a place where you can have a pastor masquerading as the director for the field office of ICE in St. Paul.
This is an operation that is secret.
Okay, so what do you all think about that? He was arrested. Don Lemon, former reporter for CNN, was arrested.
I think the best thing. Oh, go ahead, Keith.
Go ahead, Keith, because Keith,
think-
you can get an opportunity.
I think that the you know, in the situation with the church, first of all, you got to be realistic. Most Christians, not all, because I'm a Christian, but most Christians don't have a clue as to what's going on politically in this country. They don't know. They're not tied in. So they just go to church with their families to hear the word of the Lord, to basically worship God in the way that their conscience feels free to do it. So they're not involved in politics. So I really don't know why. Well, I guess I do know why, because it's the pastor who is the issue. So they targeted the pastor of the church. He was obviously, the lady said he was involved in with ICE. Okay, so actually the pastor was doing a service that was good. He was following the Constitution. The Bible tells us to do that, and he was also doing his job as a pastor. So I think that that's a good thing. He did his job as a pastor. But Don Lemon, they had no business going in during a church service, interrupting the service. That is not an exercise of free speech. That is not.
Interrupting the service or interviewing the people in the congregation?
Interrupting the service. And
How did he interrupt?
He didn't
How did he interrupt them?
He was showing
Because
you what was going on. He
they
didn't
walked in and they started chanting. They walked in and they started
That
chanting.
wasn't him. He was reporting on people doing that. He didn't do that. The people did it.
But this is how stupid these people are. And Stephen is getting ready to agree with him. He's an interview. Would Barbara Walters,
they had no
would he
business
say this
doing
to
what
Barbara
they did.
Walters? Barbara Walters
had no
walked into
business doing
church and raised her fist. You are sick. And your
They had no
boyfriend, go
business
ahead,
doing
let your
it.
boyfriend talk.
They
had
organized
done
this.
that at my
Don Lemon
church-
organized this
So,
thing.
okay,
man.
excuse me. So when you have a situation where journalists in the United States are being arrested for their First Amendment right, we have a problem.
You want him to come into your house, bust in your house because you don't like what you said, or you working with ICE? You can't do that. That's
in your house.
That is their house. That is their. Yeah,
people?
that's breaking it. They ought to go to jail for breaking and entering. That's not right.
U.S. Capitol, right? Like the U.S. Capitol.
Yeah. No, they
So
were
here's the
invited
thing.
in.
Look,
In the U.S. Capitol, they
can't
were
arrest
invited in.
journalists. You can't arrest journalists, and there's no.
You can
proof
arrest him.
that You can't arrest. Well, did they ask him to leave?
Sure, they did.
They asked Don Lemon. They were He was interviewing them. He interviewed
Right, interviewing the people, but the pastor was telling everybody to get out of this church.
And
Don
Don
Lemon
said, "Hey, I'm not with them. I just want everybody."
He was with them. He's lying and he's hiding behind being a journalist. He was with them.
You can't prove
He
that.
was with them because he wanted a story. He thought it was to be a good idea, and it wasn't.
I mean, hey, if
I know he's a journalist, but he needs to.
Did he protest? Was he
But
protesting?
he's the type of guy that needs to go to jail, and just to get because he's so prissy. He needs to get some street credit. He needs to get street credit.
You're saying he's the type of guy.
He needs to go to
You
jail.
can't say because somebody's a certain way, they deserve to be arrested.
That's the white boy.
Yeah, he needs street cred. He needs to see what real life's about.
Let him have his platform.
Okay, so let me play this.
Explaining why.
Yeah, so that's two sides of your mouth you're talking out, Stephen.
No, it's not.
That means we could go to jail right now.
Hey,
We
this
could go to
lady's
jail right now.
talking.
Served a search warrant at the Fulton County Election Office looking for 2020 ballots.
Have an opinion.
Gabbard is the director of national intelligence. Officials say election security is part of her role. Meantime, the chairman of Fulton County says he has nothing to hide.
Fulton County is now, has been, and always will be committed to upholding the law, no matter what anyone else does.
President Trump has long insisted the 2020 election was stolen, even though courts, his own former attorney general, and several audits have found that there was no widespread fraud.
Okay.
The fact that this stupid reporter just said courts, she didn't count the courts. She didn't say over 60 courts. This is why people can be stupid like Stephen and Keith and say, that's a lie. That's a lie.
All right. We're bored and we're out of time. You guys, and Todd, you're really the culprit. You kept talking.
Are
and
you
talking
kidding
and talking
me?
and talking. And we could not get anything in because you kept talking about, but we have to talk about this. Speaker Johnson.
Speaker Johnson is talking about the passage of the government funding bill.
And you might say, well, now that 96% of the government is funded, it's just 4% what's out there. But it's a very important 4%. Because remember what the Homeland Security bill covers. It's not just Immigration Customs Enforcement. It's not just Customs and Border Patrol. It is TSA. It's the agents who keep us safe in the airports and keep air travel moving. It's the Coast Guard. It's Secret Service. It's FEMA. We're in the middle of winter storms that people are still digging out from. So this is no time to play games with that funding. We hope that they will operate in good faith over the next 10 days as we negotiate this. The president, again, has reached out. We are restoring calm in Minnesota. But again, we make the plea and the demand that the governors and the mayors in these blue states and blue cities participate with federal law enforcement so that we have a safer environment in which to implement and to enforce federal immigration laws. Very, very important, and it's something the American people demand and deserve. So we'll go forward now. We hope that everyone is in good faith. We think the next 2 weeks will be critical, but I hope that they will not keep that funding in suspense because it's too important to the American people.
Mr.
Chad.
Speaker, good afternoon. Do you really think that they can work out do you really think that they can work out something in such a short time period? That's too much time.
I do. I mean, if everyone comes to the table in good faith, I'll tell you what we are not going to do. We're not going to work towards some sort of amnesty program or something. Some Democrats have whispered that that's what they would be about. We are not going to impede the enforcement of federal immigration law. We can't do that. We have to apprehend these dangerous criminals. We have convicted murderers and rapists and child molesters, and we have immigrations and customs enforcement for a reason. These agents, these officers are doing heroic work trying to keep our communities safe, and it's unconscionable to us that you would have Democrat mayors and governors trying to impede that work, encouraging their citizens to get in the way, and that's what's created these dangerous environments.
Realistic to work that out. How can you do that parliamentarily? How can you do that politically?
Well, it's up to the will of the people in the building, and I hope that they'll come forward again in good faith to work this out. Listen, they made a list of requests or demands last week. Leader Schumer made that public. And I will tell you that Tom Homan is in charge in Minnesota now, and he's already bringing about many of those changes. They are wanting to make sure that immigration enforcement is done safely and smartly and efficiently, and that's what you're going to get. It's going to be balanced. It's going to be a balanced approach. Of the demands that were made, the requests that were made, many of those are already being implemented. You notice that that they're going to have the body cameras. We put $20 million additional dollars in this legislation that they're holding up right now to pay for more body cameras. But Secretary Noem came out yesterday, as you saw, and announced that this would be the new policy. These are good things. The roving patrols will be modified. There are a lot of things that I think were thoughtful suggestions that would have already been implemented by Mr. Homan and others who are in charge of all this. And so I think we can get to an agreement. I certainly hope that's true. And if they have any intention of trying to keep these other agencies of government closed, it will be a fool's errand. And remember, we did front load the funding for Immigration Customs Enforcement and CBP in the big, beautiful bill. So they have enough funding to go for the next few years. So what they will be tying up if the Democrats choose to close the government is these very essential services for everything else: FEMA, Coast Guard, TSA, and other aspects of national security. So it's a very dangerous game that they're playing. Yes, ma'am.
Well, if they weren't screwing up, they wouldn't have to make changes, Stacey. They screwed up so bad. 200 people got murdered. If they hadn't have screwed up, that's why Holman had to come in. They should have had the foresight to thought, this is Minneapolis. They've had troubles here years ago. They needed to be a lot smarter and a lot smoother than they were. It was ham-handed the way they handled it. About innocent people had to die. People had to be pushed around. People had to be mistreated. And ICE has been mistreated. Everybody's been mistreated, but it's bad leadership from the top. And that's why Holman's coming in now, hopefully to make it a better situation for people. And you do get the murderers out and the rapists and all the bad guys that they claimed that they were doing. If they do that, that's what they should have done from the beginning, instead of terrorizing people.
We have 1 minute left. So what I'm gonna do, wait a minute, Guna. What I'm going to do is play the videos, and then you can comment as your closing comment on whichever one. You can only comment on one, but let me play them, and then you comment, and then we have to end the show. Okay?
No round table, huh?
That is the round table.
All right.
That will be the round table.
Outrage growing as new details emerge from the millions of newly released Justice Department records on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. They include Epstein's messages with powerful men. In these messages from 2013, the convicted sex offender connecting New York Giants co-owner Steve Tisch with various women. In one exchange, Tisch asked about a woman writing pro or civilian. In a statement, Tish acknowledging a brief association where we exchanged emails about adult women, but saying I did not take him up on any of his invitations and never went to his island. As we all know now, he was a terrible person and someone I deeply regret associating with. And amongst the thousands of photos, these never-before-seen images of former Prince Andrew, who was stripped of his royal titles last year over his relationship with Epstein. Now seen here, crouched over a young woman, her face redacted, the date and context of the interaction unclear. Representatives for Andrew have not responded to a request for comment. Now, even UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is calling for Andrew to testify, saying, I have always said anybody who has got information should be prepared to share that information in whatever form they are asked to do that. And new information unearthed on what exactly law enforcement knew about Epstein's crimes, including this stunning prosecution memo and draft indictment written nearly 2 decades ago. Across 45 pages, prosecutors in Florida detailing disturbing evidence they gathered against the financier, calling him, quote, a continued danger to the community based upon his continued enticement of underage girls. But that 60-count indictment never filed. Instead, Epstein landing a now infamous deal allowing him to plead guilty to lesser state prostitution charges, for which he served just 13 months in a Florida jail. Some of Epstein's victims now furious with the Justice Department, saying many of their names were left unredacted and exposed in this latest release. Epstein survivor Charlene Rochard telling me the Justice Department has once again violated their privacy.
I have seen things that relate to me, and people I know have not been redacted at all. Their full names are out there, and especially Jane Doe's are fully out there. And they asked especially that their names are redacted, and they're just not.
Now, the Justice Department said they did work with victims for those redactions and are encouraging them to reach out if they have any concerns. But lawmakers have questions, too, including the bipartisan pair who spearheaded this effort to release the files in the first place. They're now asking the Justice Department for a full look at those unreleased files, though there is no word yet on when that might happen.
Okay.
It's horrible. It's just an inept group up there. All of them. They're just inept. The way they handle everything, it's ridiculous. And
I'm telling leaders there that time is running out to make a deal on its nuclear program. Trump pointing to a carrier strike group that is en route to the region, as well as those past strikes on Iranian nuclear centers last year. Scripps News White House correspondent Haley Bowl is live right now on the North Lawn. And Haley, what developments are you tracking at this hour?
I'm going to play this one instead. So it'll take less time, but it's about the same thing. So we don't have much time.
What?
U.S. military shut down an Iranian drone in the Arabian Sea today as it approached the USS Abraham Lincoln. In a statement to Ford's U.S. Central Command, captain said an unmanned aircraft was shot down by F-35 fighter jet from the Abraham Lincoln. After aggressively Abraham Lincoln was in international waters 500 miles from Iran's southern coast. It maneuvered unnecessarily toward the ship and kept moving despite the escalatory measures. The drone was shot down in self-defense and no U.S. service members injured or equipment damaged during the encounter. The shooting was the first reported by Reuters early Tuesday today. Hours later, another unrelated conflict between Iranian and American forces took place in the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow channel of water dividing Iran from the two ships commanded by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard harassed them, and two ships and another drone approached the ship at high speeds and threatened to board and seize the tanker.
Okay.
USS McFall, a guided missile destroyer, was in the area and escorted the tanker with air from the U.S. Air Force. That was all today. Pick
Okay.
which one you want to discuss.
We couldn't hear that one, but
It was no sound. It was me talking.
I know, and we could not hear
You
you.
couldn't hear me?
You were in
Okay.
and out
All right.
completely.
Sorry
but-
about that. So
Okay.
pick one to discuss. We're going to start with Keith, then Stephen, then Aguna, then Cousin Todd. Keith, what do you want to discuss?
Does it have to be one of those videos or whatever it is that you were showing the second time?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I don't have anything to say about the Epstein thing. You know, it's
Why
just
not?
a smoke screen because it's a big smoke screen. It's the
Ah!
things that are really important. All it is a
Really?
distraction. Yeah,
How?
diversion.
How is it a smokescreen when they have all these witnesses and everybody's coming? How's that a smokescreen?
The only thing they want to do is
don't
find
have time.
Trump. They want to find Trump involved. If they find that, that's all they care about. If
That's
they
not.
don't find
Well,
it, that's it.
Stephen?
You haven't
no, it
figured
just
that out
shows that.
yet?
Yeah, it shows a sad world we live in right now, that people are going to protect these people. These are the worst people. Keith, I don't know what you've looked at, but it's really horrible. I'm sure you've had your head in the sand, but it leaves your ass
That's all
exposed.
they care about. That's all they care
You know,
about.
that's
Stephen.
all. I know you're the devil's advocate. I understand that, and that's a hard role to play with him. It's hard. It gets harder every day, I'm sure. But what he's doing in Iran, I
How
want
do
to
you
ask
know?
everybody. I want to ask you. What does that do for us? What does it do for us to go after Iran? Put all of our equipment there. Put our boys and
Oh my
girls there. What
God.
is it? What does that do for the United States interest? Absolutely nothing.
This is what we've been
Absolutely
telling
nothing.
you for years, Stephen.
Listen, we haven't been there for years. I'm saying for 15 years, Benjamin Netanyahu said that Iran's going to get a nuclear bomb. They're going to get a nuclear bomb. He's been saying it forever because he wants to take out every one of his people. We haven't said this for years. They took out Iraq, Afghanistan. They took how many Muslims did they take out of this country? I don't want to hear. I told you, mute this boy. Mute this little boy. I didn't talk over you tonight. You're a little chirping little boy. Now, what we're doing in Iran makes absolutely no sense. And what we're doing is connects to Epstein files, because one country runs Epstein files. Epstein is from this country, and his wife is part of that huge group that's like the CIA, but they're in another country. They're all part of it. And the reason we're in Iran right now is because that country has us by our balls, and we do anything they tell us to do. This administration giving them more money than anybody else have, more weapons than anybody else have, and he's blew up crap in Iran, blew up their nuclear crap, blew that up, and now they're going to just invade them because the people who have us by our balls are making them, and you can't figure that out, Keith? That's sad. It doesn't take a lot of brain power.
Thank you. Thank you.
But you got to be an advocate for your devil, man.
All right. Thank you, Aguna.
Yeah, and again, this is what you voted for. He said he was going to do all this, and he's
And
doing
we
it.
told
So I don't know
you
why
He
we're
didn't
not
say he was going to
hearing
invade
about
any
that,
other countries
because
and go to war.
he
He
said
didn't say he was going to war.
I didn't interrupt you. Yes,
But he didn't say he was going to war, so you're not telling the truth.
Peace through strength. Can I finish, please? You had your round
Little
table.
boy, shut up,
He
little
said,
boy.
Peace through strength. He said he was going to, stop the invasion at the southern border. If you're being invaded, that means you're going to war. That means you're going to war with Venezuela. He said he was going to have a golden dome, and go out that golden dome. He's going to take over Greenland. He said he was going to end the war in the Ukraine. He's going to do that by putting pressure on NATO to take over control of it because he wants to get out of it. Now, Iran, he said, we're not going to give them their money back. We're going to bomb them. And now the escalation that's happening over there, that's part of it all. And then, of course, with the Epstein files, he's going to downplay that. And as if it never happened. He doesn't even know who Epstein is. He's never been to the island. And then with the Minneapolis thing, he said he was going to have the largest deportation ever this country has ever seen. And by saying that, he's not saying he was going to do it in a humane and organized manner. He just said he was going to go and do it, right? And so under Obama, you had a lot of deportations. And what happened under Obama was when they were in jail, if you were in jail, you had a criminal record, they're going to coordinate with the federal government and they'll send you home. That's not happening right now because it's too confrontational. They're going in there, arresting everybody, and it's happening so fast that you can't hold people for forever. You got to let them out. So there's no coordination between the state, federal government, and so what's happening is everybody's fighting each other. But he said he was going to do it. That's what he's doing. So both you, Stephen, and Keith should be happy right now.
The Democrats didn't object to Obama kicking people out of the country. That's the difference.
Absolutely did, because Obama wasn't killing people in the street.
But they didn't. But they weren't out there protesting. Nobody was out there protesting when Obama was getting everybody off the street.
Nobody was getting killed.
That's right. But nobody was getting killed because nobody was protesting. That's why. Nobody was protesting when Obama was getting everybody out of here.
Walking down the side.
That's your difference. Now you have agitators out. You have agitators.
You're the one that said they were murdered.
All right. Now
they were murdered. Even though they were agitators, they were murdered.
They did protest, by the way.
I want to go back to Stephen.
Don't ask Stephen anything.
I'm not asking him anything.
You ran off. You ran off.
Yeah, he left. He left because he's a little boy. He a little boy. So he left.
When my mic gets cut, I cut my video off. When my mic gets cut, I'm not going to sit in and look at you. I'm not looking at you, son.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So now, Stephen said, now he's going to deny this because this is what he does. I said, Stephen, what about the Epstein files? And these girls were raped. And it is so unfair. He said, were they raped? I don't think so. They weren't underage. They were 16, 17 years old. And a lot of them, they knew what they were getting into. The people that get raped, the children get raped.
You're a liar and you can go to hell, Todd. You're a liar and you can go to hell. Don't nobody believe your mouth. Just shut the hell up. Talk about what it was. Talk about what we're supposed to be talking about the round table. Leave me out your motherfucking mouth. Get me out of your mouth. Talk about something besides me. I live rent free in your head and in your little tiny head. It must be painful because I'm a big boy.
So he said it wasn't a big deal because these girls were 16 and 17.
I never said that. I never said it wasn't a big deal. You're a damn liar.
7 and 8 years old get raped.
You got the tongue of Satan.
I have
spit that tongue out. Don't belong to you.
Now we have the tape, and he's so stupid. What is he going to say when we play it? Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it like that. See, I didn't know back then, but I learned shit then. I learned. You don't learn, Todd. You don't learn. See,
guess what, Todd? It wasn't older teenagers. It was little tiny children that are being abused and killed. This is what Epstein files are. These are little tiny kids that are being sacrificed because these people are evil. These people are evil. You ought to be interested in that, Keith. You ought to be interested, Keith, because these people are evil. What they do to little babies, you don't care what they do to babies. You don't care. You think it's a hoax? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry if I offended you tonight, man.
People 16 and 17 years old.
You're going to offend me after I say I'm sorry I offended you.
Oh, my gosh.
Hey, and Stephen,
he's still talking about me.
Stephen, you are very pro-Israel too.
What about? I was till I found out. When I knew the truth, I couldn't lie. I've never changed. I go to what I think is true, but if it turns out it was false and it was a lie, then I go with that. I don't go where I don't follow lies. I don't spread lies. I go where the truth is. If I think it's true, I spread it because they said that those poor people.
Get us into a war.
Charlie Kirk said that Israel stood down that day. Israel stood down that day. They started at October 7th, 2023. Charlie Kirk said that. A couple weeks later, he was murdered. He wasn't murdered by a little gay boy that was in love with a furry dressed up like a cat. He wasn't murdered by that. He was murdered by somebody that didn't like the way he talked.
I don't
care. And that's what changed my mind. That's what changed my mind.
Oh my God.
You can't.
got to reveal the breaking news. Breaking news.
What is the breaking news, Keith?
Well, Trump just made a deal. Well, possibly India, they're going to close it. India is going to stop buying oil from Russia and purchase only from the United States.
Where did you see that?
That was today. That's today.
Where? What news?
Where did you see that?
I saw it on Fox. Isn't that great, Aguna?
I'm going to get a shirt that says I saw it on Fox. I'm going to make a shirt. I saw it on Fox.
I was doing my roundtable and
sorry, we finished your roundtable for you.
Now, this is the same person. Stephen,
India would never do that.
Gotta stop saying Stephen. Say Keith or Guna. Or say Stacy.
You're the flip.
I told you to keep me out your
You're
mouth.
the one that has preached all this crap. And when I say, Stephen, the Jews are trying to take the Palestinian land. Todd, you are for You remember?
We were told that they were struck by Hamas, that they were terrorized, and people had their heads cut. All of that was turned out to be a lie.
Won't shut up.
Because I learned what the truth was. Did you know that about October 7th? You didn't care.
Okay.
Did you know about October 7th?
I can't get a word in edgewise.
Did you know Charlie Kirk?
Okay, stop talking, Stephen. You're doing that on purpose. He is trying to talk, and Stephen was doing that on purpose. Go ahead, Cousin Todd, and then we're out of time.
He keeps talking about Charlie Kirk, Charlie Kirk. He's your Messiah, not mine. I knew this crap for years, and I was telling you, and so was Aguna, for years. And every time I'd say, no, Benjamin Netanyahu is taking the Palestinian land. You're for Hamas, Todd. You love the Hamas, Todd. I say, I don't. I'm just telling you, this is what you would say over and over and over. So,
what does this have to do with the round table? What do you think about Iran? Should we go into Iran?
So then we were just talking about Hamas, and so that's why I came to you, and you were talking about Keith going along with the Epstein, saying, "Oh, we don't need to hear the Epstein file." You said the same thing, Stephen. I said. I was talking about the Epstein files and these girls who were raped. And you said, these people are in high school, 16 and 7. Some of them have sex anyway.
I didn't say that. A politician said that. I didn't say that. I did not say that.
You said it on this show.
Okay,
Stephen.
we can't keep going over. We're out of time. So you see this. It says Trump refuses to be outdone by Europe, signing his own U.S.-India trade deal.
Yeah, but this has nothing to do with oil, though. He said something about oil, but that's not been confirmed. And again, India had already signed another trade deal with Europe. So the thing is, this is after the fact, right? So they've already starting to use a different supply chain. So what you're doing is you're ceding leverage to India and China because they're already making deals with Europe and Russia. So now you're coming in after the fact. So now you're ceding negotiating power, you're ceding the trade deficit to India and China because they're already making deals without you. So we got forced to make this deal after the fact. So until we know the details of it, and again, this is supposed to be over the next couple of years, and there's no confirmation in that. If you read that article, it has to do with oil. Keith came on here and said they're only going to buy oil from the United States. Why would they do that? Again, look where India is, look where Russia is, look where China is. It's a lot easier for them to trade with each other than it is to go all the way around the world.
He'll believe anything that Trump says, just like Stephen used to. But now Stephen stopped drinking the Kool-Aid, and he's Charlie Kirk saved my life.
And then who's benefiting from these deals? You got to think. You're sitting there. You're only looking at it as Trump is doing something great. Who is really benefiting from these deals? They're not trickling down to the consumers and the American people. These are company to company, business to businessmen. And so we're sitting here celebrating money that we're not even tapping into. It's like we're going back to the 80s and we're just watching a Rocky movie.
Okay, thank you. So we can't keep going.
Drill, baby, drill.
It's 9:18. You guys can't come on late.
To do with it. We're not making any money.
You can't come on late and then start talking slowly. And then think we're going to keep going till you finish. We're going to have to stop. We're going from 8 to 9. That's it, Cousin Todd. That was for you.
Isn't that what Stephen does?
Our first responders and communities, you make our lives livable. Thank you, thank you, thank you to our women and men of the U.S. military for all that you do in sacrificing your lives. So we are free to say whatever we choose on the show. We are forever indebted. On behalf of Aguna, our voice of reason, trying to reason with people, and all he got was attacked by Todd.
She's speeding.
Shut up.
Stephen, independent thinker.
Your little boy, Todd. Little boy.
Shut your mouth, little boy.
Keith,
your mouth.
Constitutional conservative.
I love everything Trump does. He can do no wrong. It's just
and my cousin Todd, who likes to come on the show late every week.
Surprise.
Hey, can I ask Keith real quick? Hey, Keith, what do you think about Donald Trump saying?
Not now. I'm Stacey Johnson.
Don't bring your gun to a.
I'm Stacey Johnson. Let's
No
keep
guns at protests.
I
on
agree.
Facebook,
What?
X,
Wow.
Twitch.
Wow.
You're
I knew it. Didn't you know it? If Trump says it, he's going to agree.
YouTube.
You're a fake conservative, Keith.
Let me tell you why I agree when Stacey hangs up.
Thank you. Facebook, Twitch, X. Please join us, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Sporlitiks. Check us out on Instagram at Sporlitiks. Check us out on Stephanie Stallworth's The Flow Television Network. And last but definitely not least, TikTok. Our name on TikTok is Sporlitiks.com. All one word, Sporlitiks.com. We'll see you next week, and Todd will be on time. Good night.
No, Todd ain't never on time.
All right. Okay, now, Stephen, what did
let me respond to with these. Let me respond, guys, because this is very important to me, and I thank you guys for getting. I love being on the show.
You're the self-defense guy.
Let me respond to Stephen. The reason I say that you don't bring a gun to that guy made a mistake bringing his gun, and I would never do that, even if I carried. I don't carry, but if I carried, I wouldn't do it. Let me tell you why.
Why not?
It jeopardizes the safety of the people around you. And you think about this for a moment.
In terms of who?
The new Black Panthers, these so-called new Black Panthers. I saw a video where these guys were carrying rifles. Stephen, they were carrying rifles, AK-47, and they were carrying these rifles, and they said, "We are going to protect the community."
They did it back in the 60s too, and they had their rifles.
Yes, they did. And you saw the end of that. You go up against the law enforcement. You go up against law enforcement. You go up against the establishment.
It's self-defense. It's self-defense. You have a gun on you for self-defense.
Yeah, well,
you have a lawfully right to carry that gun.
Control, Keith. You're just saying what you articulated was gun control.
No. Second
It
Amendment.
doesn't mean you can have gun control when you don't agree with that side. Either you have it or you don't. So
right.
just because you don't agree with them,
gun control starts here.
Gun
control starts here. Gun control starts here, and I choose not to.
But if you are legally, you have a permit, and you are legally, it's legal for you to carry a firearm. You should be able to do so, no matter your political affiliation.
Right. You can go to a protest with a gun. It's not illegal.
I didn't say you couldn't legally. Didn't you guys hear me in the beginning? I said he had a right. He carried the gun. Okay, that's his thing. I would not do it. I told him I would not.
Well, that's the thing. It's judgment. Right. You're saying,
but does he have he has a right to be there, right?
He's got a right to make laws or anything else.
Your president don't think he does. Your president don't think he does when he has the gun on him.
Well, you once again you misunderstand his what he says.
All of them said that.
He says
Christy
a lot of
Nunn said it. J.D. Vance, they said all that.
All of Stephen's ex-lovers said it.
He said he would sign into law a reciprocity bill, meaning I could go anywhere in the country carrying my gun. He said he would sign that bill.
Oh, that's what he said? I don't go by what he says anymore, Keith. You shouldn't either.
Wait. You just did. You just did.
Oh, did he sign it?
What he said about the guy carrying a gun. So what do you mean you don't go by what he said?
Oh, you know what we didn't go over? We should have the voting. How the Texas Democratic senator won, which is going to turn the state Democratic for the first time in decades. And how, what did you say, Cousin Todd, that President Trump wants to sign some sort of voting law for the nation?
Nationalize. He wants to nationalize voting.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Hey,
why
look.
Why is that a good idea, Steve Keith?
Well, because of the 25th. I mean, the amendment, not 25th.
25th Amendment.
The 15th
you're right.
Amendment. The 15th Amendment says
he said only in certain
that
states.
all people have a right to vote. All citizens have a right to vote.
Not the federal government. That's local. The federal government should not be involved.
Yes, it should. It should.
No, the Constitution said no. States'
no, it
rights.
doesn't say no.
No, so here's the thing.
It says Congress has the power to legislate.
What did the Supreme Court say? The Supreme Court rolled back those voting rights. Because remember, states' rights, right? States were in control of the voting, right? And that's why you had the black codes. And now you're saying nationalize it, but he's saying nationalize it for certain states, the states that he didn't win. That's not constitutional.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
No,
So he's only
look.
investigating the states that he
Look,
did.
okay, let's the reality is, let's go with the reality of this thing. It'll
He
probably not
lost.
happen. It probably won't happen. It's not gonna happen.
But don't you think
okay?
it's dangerous to even think about that? See, the thing is, no
No.
matter who's in the executive
Look,
branch,
that
we
has
need
about as much
we limited
that has about
government,
as much
limited power of
opportunity.
the executive branch. As a conservative, you should be appalled at what the executive branch is doing.
No.
You don't want the
Not
executive
if a white
branch
man
to have
does it.
immunity to start making these statements and doing all this stuff.
No,
That's why Congress is
it's not
elected.
gonna happen.
Congress should have more power than the executive
No.
branch.
It's not
That's
gonna
Congress
happen
is elected
any
by
more
the people.
than it's not gonna happen any more than him running for a third term. Okay, so you might as well forget it. I go back to the other thing
Look,
though.
so you don't think that anything he's doing right now is an overstretch of the executive branch?
No, I don't.
Okay, so you means he can do what he's doing with immunity. You should have the Secret Service going and pulling ballot boxes. You should have, ICE going off and not having warrants to go into places, American citizens' homes and stuff.
No.
All that is okay because
What home did they go
Trump is in
into?
power.
Whose home did they break into?
The man
and,
that I
invade?
just said was a citizen of the United States.
Yeah,
he was
he
in
was
the shower,
documented.
and they broke his door down.
But that's not the
pulled
only
him
one.
out with a towel
Well, they
on
had
in
a warrant.
14-degree
This man-
weather.
How
No,
do
they
you
didn't
know
have
that
a
that
warrant.
man didn't have a warrant? How do you
No,
know
they
that he
didn't have a warrant.
They
No, they
didn't have a warrant.
ICE doesn't need to
How
have
did you
warrant.
know that? How did you know that he was not a convicted felon
Because
already?
they released him. They released
How do you
him.
know that?
And he
But if he was, they need to show proof of that prior to him being detained. You're innocent till proven guilty in
they
this
didn't
country.
show proof.
You're not
What
assumed
happened was
guilty and
because
then
he
you
was
gotta go
released.
prove yourself.
Well, I'm not
Okay.
going to just take your word for it. I have to see the.
What do you
I have to see
mean?
the whole thing.
Don't make it about me. Don't
He's
make it about
home.
me because at the end of
I
the
won't.
day, Keith,
I
at the
won't.
end of the day, it's a
I won't.
government, it's an overreach of government thing. Either you are for containing the federal government or you're not. As a conservative, you should
Well,
be reining in the powers of the federal government.
First of all, let me ask you this, and this was my question earlier about ICE. I said, do you think any of this would be happening if we go back to when Obama had taken? Let's see, what does the report say? It says here, I did my research. This is according to fact check. Over 2 million, with 2 million. Gosh, man, he did over 2 million deportations in
And
8
you still
years.
hate him.
How did
And
he
you
do
Average
it?
still
of
hate him.
942 per day.
How
This
did
was
he
his
do it?
first term.
Those were
compared
people that
to,
were already detained, and he was
okay.
working in conjunction with state governments
Okay,
saying, all
so
right,
here's the
you're
question.
here illegally,
Where
and
was
you're
that
in jail
time?
for a
Where
violent
were the
crime.
protesters?
Therefore, you're getting deported.
Sanctuary cities
were the
won't work for them,
protesters?
and that's what's different now. Sanctuary cities won't work with these people.
That's the
So you
debate.
got to go in there and do
Here's
what
the
you got to
thing.
do, and it's
Here's the
awful.
thing.
Sanctuary cities were not
But
implemented
they're
until
not working with them because of the
2017.
confrontation with the federal government, right?
No, there would be no.
California.
If they would work with them, there'd be no
You
confrontation.
spend 3,000
California
law
was the
enforcement
first
officers
sanctuary
roaming the streets.
city
They're not going to work with you.
in 2017. California was one of the
Okay.
first sanctuary
Let
cities
me
in
let me say this.
2017. And that's
Aguna,
after the fact.
Aguna,
After Obama.
you're talking too broad for these pea brains. Now you have to say things like this. Listen carefully. Obama did not go for the worker at the restaurant. Obama
Neither is
didn't go
Trump.
to farms
He didn't
and
need to.
pull these workers off of the fields in
He
the
didn't
farm
have to.
and arrest them.
He
He
didn't have
only
to.
went
A
for a
Korean
dum-dum.
factory in
He
Georgia.
didn't have to.
You're
He had
going
cooperation by the states and the locals. They gave
He
him
No,
the
but
only-
you're also seeing people who came and seeking asylum being detained and sent back, but who are doing their check-ins, who are actually following the process.
The
They're
law.
asylum seekers, and you're sending them back too. So it's the way that he's
They're
doing
getting
it,
them
not
out of the
what he's doing, it's the
courtrooms.
way that you're doing it.
That's
You're
my
not even
point.
following your own laws.
That's
The
my
reason he's
point,
going into these
Aguna.
places now is because of the sanctuary policies.
Okay,
That's
so
why he's going
anyway,
into
my
there.
point was
Right,
this.
that's
Sanctuary
correct.
policies mean that they will not work with him, and that
Right.
is
But you're also
unconstitutional.
seeing people being deported unlawfully in other cities.
Going
It's not
in
just
their
the sanctuary
house.
cities that people are being
Unconstitutional.
unlawfully deported from.
They have to work
They're
with
not
them.
the sanctuary cities where you're seeing protests and people are being detained and pulled out their homes and stuff. That's another excuse just to say, oh, they deserve this in Minnesota. But you're
Well,
seeing the same thing in Texas. You're
sanctuary
seeing it in North
policies.
Carolina. You're seeing it in Georgia. You're seeing it all over the country. So don't just
No.
again. That's a false narrative saying,
Sanctuary
it's
cities. He always
That's
all he
another
wants is
Sanctuary cities. That's what it is.
So that's
Sanctuary
all.
cities
They're only
are
in sanctuary
causing him to have
cities
to
where
go
that's
into these
happening.
places.
It's only
He said he was
sanctuary
gonna
cities.
do
That's what
that,
you're saying.
and
but
that's
he's
exactly
stuck,
what he's
just
doing.
like
I love
Stephen
it.
used to be
So
stuck when
hallelujah.
stupid.
Thank you,
And
Lord.
so now
You're just using
Stephen
that as an excuse.
graduated.
Thank you,
So
Jesus.
now he's looking down on his boy toy.
I ain't looking
Thank
down
you,
on
Lord.
Keith. I don't look down on Keith at all. I look down
Thank you,
on you and your
Jesus.
mouth.
And the problem, and see
Thank you,
what's
Jesus.
happening now,
Hallelujah.
you see it's
I'm
having
glad
an
he's going
impact on
after
the
them.
economy. You're
And
seeing its
they will
impact in the
continue to
way
do it.
things are being built in the country. You're seeing the low in the farming industries being impacted, and they're not reporting all. They're lagging the reports on the growth. Again, you look at last quarter, the U.S. economy grew slower than it normally does. Inflation is still creeping up, and all of that is because of a flawed immigration policy. If you just enforce the immigration policy that you have, you could still see some gains. They can make it more efficient so that people can have their hearings and things like that. I mean, you have the technology to track these people who are seeking asylum. You don't have to sit there and put them in concentration camps and things like that. And then the amount of lawsuits that the federal government is having to entail by doing things improperly, that's costing you even more money. So, I mean, it's becoming, I need to stop right now and become a lawyer, because you can make a lot of money just based on suing the federal government at this point. Because you're not,
How about,
you're not
how
even
about the
following your
woman?
own laws.
How about the woman that's transgenderizing, and she got $2 million because she sued. The woman went from a woman to a man,
What?
and
Wait a minute.
now they're trying to take it back, and they sued and they won $2 million.
But what about you going through your transition when you
It
just
wasn't a
had your
transition; it was a
operation?
hernia operation. You misheard me. First, you thought it was hemorrhoid.
Oh.
But I was like, the only hemorrhoid I ever had is you.
Okay, excuse me. I want to talk about this is Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. And I'd like to bring to your attention Mrs. Claudette Colvin. She just passed away January 13th, 2026. She just had passed away last month.
NASA.
An American pioneer of the 50s civil rights movement and a nurse's aide. She ended up moving to New York, and that's where she passed. But on March 2nd, 1955, she was arrested at the age of 15 in Montgomery, Alabama, for refusing to give up her seat to a white woman on a crowded, segregated bus. It occurred 9 months before the similar, more widely known incident in which Rosa Parks, secretary of the local chapter of the NAACP, helped spark the 1955 Montgomery boycott. The reason why they did not use Miss Claudette Colvin was because she was a minor. They didn't spark that big bus boycott because she was a minor, but she was actually the first person not to give up her seat in Alabama. So today we celebrate Claudette Colvin. Really, Claudette Alston Colvin, born September 5th, 1939, and she just passed away January 13th, 2026. That is our Black History Month lesson. And I want, since it's about 4 weeks in Black History, then we've got the next 4 contributors, you guys. I want you guys to tell me, each person tell me something, whatever you want to talk about for Black History Month next week. I'll just say who wants to talk about Black History Month, who wants to celebrate, and you'll talk about how you want to celebrate each week.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let me just say about this woman, Claudette, you said?
Yes.
This happened to, I think, 4 different women. And but they used Rosa Parks because she fit the bill. This little girl is so pretty, but Rosa Parks, you see, she was high yellow, and I know that sounds strange, but oh, look how dumb and ignorant. He's the oldest person on this show, and he doesn't even know about colorism. Look how
Todd is so funny.
retarded he is.
Todd, you
Lord
crack
have
me up, man.
mercy. Okay, okay.
You make me
Please.
laugh, Todd.
Okay, all right. So, Stacy, maybe you can tell him on a different day when we're not on the air how dumb and ignorant he is for not knowing about colorism. Let me say this, and you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Either you're pretending that you don't know, or you're really just that dumb.
Well,
In
did
the
I say I didn't
paper,
know? I was laughing. Does that indicate that I didn't
oh,
know because I laughed?
yes,
I just
because
thought
you're
it was tickled.
laughing at tragedy. Even in the paper, they put in the 50s, light-skinned colored girl wanted for front desk position. Light-skinned colored girl. So that was even in the paper. So let me say that the reason Rosa Parks was used because she fit the bill. She was high yellow, pretty, long hair, built nice, with a good background, working for white people, working in a white store. So she fit the bill. And Black people had to be highly intelligent to know how to manipulate the system. If you used a Black girl, dark skin, a regular girl who worked as a housekeeper for somebody, well, see, they're gonna do what you and Stephen do to them. But this woman was respected. She knew her place. She was not a troublemaker. She was quiet. She worked in a white department store as a seamstress. And so she fit exactly what they needed. No problems out of this Black woman.
Right. So it was a setup.
And so that's who they used. No, this
Right.
happened to her.
No,
But
it was
they
a setup.
used, what do you mean by setup?
I mean, they set it up.
Whitey?
They tried it. I tried it a few more times, and they got it right with
No,
her.
no, no.
When they got it
Nobody
right the fourth
tried
time.
it. Listen,
Oh
dummy
yeah,
bum. They didn't
it was
try it.
intentional.
They did
Yes, it
not
was
use.
intentional.
Listen, dummy. They did not use these other women.
Yeah, if you got to
They
delve a little
only u-
deeper into this
Shut
story.
up. They
I'm sorry.
only used Rosa because
Uh-huh.
Rosa fit the bill. They did not use those other three women. They
Right.
used Rosa and put her out in front to show what white people were doing
Right.
to Black people, even
Yes.
pretty nice women like this. If
Yes, it was a
white
setup.
people were doing that to people that look like Stacy or Oguna, so what? Who cares?
Right.
They deserve it, coons. But if
Right.
they do it to a pretty soft little light-skinned mixed woman who looks half white, America is America and has always been. You see, there's house niggers and there's field niggers.
You
can
sound
do
like
anything
Charles
you
Manson when
want
you talk.
to the
You're starting to
field
look
nigger,
more like him.
But see, when you do this to the house nigger, you've crossed the line.
I don't even think
now. So
Charlie
they
Manson talked
used
as bad
her-
as you do.
They used her to get their point across. And so that's why you know it is unfair to make Black people sit in the back of the bus. That's why you
Right.
know, because of Rosa.
Yeah.
So excuse me. I use this because my church recognized Miss Colvin. So I said, oh, that would be a great thing to do on the show, to recognize Miss Colvin, because I had not heard of her, but my church kind of enlightened us. So I thought I'd use her. And I had a friend of mine just say, this is the best show on the internet.
Oh,
All
that's
right.
fabulous.
Wow.
That was
That's
fabulous.
great.
And to finish up what I was saying, there's another Black woman who got taken. She fought those cops. She said he was beating me, but I was beating him too.
So she must
We
have
were
been a
beating
man
each
like
other.
that guy said that Serena was.
Anyway,
Oh.
she was a Black girl that wasn't going to take it. So that's why they couldn't use her. I would have used her. I would have used her really as opposed to Rosa, because she was the kind that ain't going to take it, come what may. And so she said we were beating each other. So they couldn't use her, even though I would. They had to use somebody the extreme opposite. And so that's why you know what the bus boycott was about, because of Rosa. That's all.
All right. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Todd, for all that
Thanks,
you
Todd.
are and all that you wear, Todd. We
By the
appreciate
way,
it.
speaking of race, the immigration, most border patrol agents, ICE agents are, guess what? Brown skin.
Yeah, because Spicks hate Spicks because they want to be white. Yeah, those Spicks are dumb. They voted for Trump. That's why I say you get what you get.
Woo!
Wow. Well,
Thank you, Keith. All right. Good night, guys.
yeah. Good night. I hope we don't have World War III. I hope everything goes well.